I told you, this thing is bigger than Nino Brown, and I got a list of proof.
Order.
If I'm going down,
Order in
I'm
the
taking a
court.
whole lot
I
of
said
people with
order
me.
in the court.
Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am.
To this day.
Nino Brown Boxing, I'm back in the building. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. So I just watched Errol Spence Jr. versus Shawn Porter, PBC on Fox interview that they just had. You know, they asked the typical questions, the same thing that they normally ask in interviews, but I would say this one was slightly different. At the end, they asked them their opinions on both of them fighting Manny Pacquiao, and to me at this point it's kind of irrelevant. Them deviating away from Spence versus Porter to discuss who do they think would beat Manny Pacquiao, put up a tougher fight. To me, I didn't really understand. Like, I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to push for that fight to possibly happen. But at the same time, I feel like the more meaningful fight is Shawn Porter versus Errol Spence, or Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter, but however you want to say it, since it's a unification bout. But in the interview, like, I've noticed very subtle things, and maybe it's not the best word selection, but the way I would describe the way Shawn Porter answered a lot of the questions was, it was somewhat childish. And the only reason I said that is it seems like he was that kid on the playground trying to one-up Errol Spence on every single thing. And it seemed like Shawn Porter is trying to win the battle of public opinion and sway what the majority of the fans think who the winner is going to be. Now, you know, Shawn talking about different things that he's incorporated. He said he's been training for a long time, I believe since April. He said he incorporated some weight training, obviously to deal with the strength of Errol Spence. But the one thing that I find to be very interesting in all of this is they spoke on Ugas, they spoke on like Manny Pacquiao, Danny Garcia was mentioned, Mikey Garcia was mentioned, Keith Thurman was mentioned, but they didn't mention Kell Brook. I find that to be very interesting. The very belt, the IBF strap that Errol Spence is currently holding, Errol Spence beat Kell Brook for it, and that was the belt that Kell Brook took from. That's the belt that Kell Brook took from Shawn Porter. So I'm trying to understand. You bring up all these fighters, all of these guys, but you don't speak on Kell Brook, and I just find that to be very interesting. I don't know if that's more of a promotional strategy. Let's not bring up Kell Brook. He's not a PBC guy, and let's not bring up the loss that Shawn Porter has against the only mutual opponent that these guys have faced in the ring as a professional. Maybe that's just the angle that they're pushing, but I feel like it's very telling. Errol Spence did speak on Kell Brook briefly when they say he's the more trickier fighter. You know, he has a very seasoned 1-2, and with him being an international fighter, that's a big part of Kell Brook's fighting game. But I feel like they could have dove a lot deeper into the whole Kell Brook topic. You know, they could have reminded Shawn, like, Shawn, you know that's the belt that you had. Kell Brook took that belt from you, and Errol Spence went back over there, and he got that belt to make this unification possible. I feel like they should have dove a lot deeper in that. And it sounded like they kind of, you know, they played it safe because I guess they wanted to keep the interview as balanced as possible. And you can't say that about Errol Spence because at this point in his career, he is undefeated. So you can't necessarily bring that up. Now, I feel like the whole Kell Brook situation was in the back of Shawn Porter's head. That's why Shawn Porter answered a lot of questions the way that he did. He didn't have much. He didn't really have anything negative to say about Errol Spence, but the simple fact that, I'm training harder than you, Earl. I'm doing this, Earl. I'm doing that, Earl. And it's just like, okay, Shawn, if that's how you feel, great. You know, you should feel that you're training harder than me. But at the same time, you're saying this to a man that's never missed weight, and I'm naturally bigger than you, but you've missed weight before. So, you know, you said you train hard at every training camp. I'm just trying to understand. Earl, I never had to have a public haircut to see if I can make weight or not. I never had to run to I believe in LA Fitness and go into a sauna room or get on a treadmill to try to cut down weight in a 2-hour period. Now, it's just certain details like that should definitely be attached to certain things that Shawn Porter has said. But outside of that, I feel like it was a great interview. Errol Spence seemed like he didn't want to be bothered. He said like he didn't want to be there. And another way that Shawn Porter was trying to one-up Errol Spence, because Abner Mares, I believe, asked Errol Spence, are you tired of promoting with Shawn Porter? And Errol basically, he was very honest about it. He was like, yes. Yeah, he's tired of it, but that's a part of the job. That's a part of, you want to be a superstar. You want to promote big fights. This is what I have to do. So I understand that. And Shawn saying, oh, come on, man, you can't be getting tired on me already. I'm like, Shawn Porter, chill. Just take a step back. You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win this fight by saying what is more of a political answer. You don't win a fight like that. So Errol Spence, he doesn't shy away from anything when it says that he can beat you. He's beaten the man that beat you. So I mean, it was a very mild interview. I feel like the interview could have definitely been escalated with the proper questions. Like I said, mentioning the fact that he missed weight before and mentioning Kell Brook more in depth. I feel like that definitely would have made the interview a lot more enjoyable, for the simple fact it would have put everything out there. Now, I don't know if they're saving this stuff for later. I'm happy that Kenny Porter was there. I'm so happy, but at the same time, that's where Shawn works. That's one of his side gigs, so that's a good thing. I like to hear Shawn Porter talk, even though certain things he say don't necessarily make sense. It puts out a better feel of Shawn Porter's personality, and I know a lot of interviews now Kenny Porter haven't been a part of, especially since Shawn got this, he got this job on Fox. So that's a good thing when it comes to that. But at the same time, Shawn Porter is just putting out a lot of rhetoric where he's not telling the full story. And you could tell Errol Spence that you're training harder than him, but I'm sure any training camp in the past, Shawn Porter would have said the same thing about Errol Spence, that he's training harder. But once again, Shawn, I said it before, Errol Spence never missed weight, and that's something that definitely needs to be taken into consideration. I'm super excited for this fight, September 28th. It's currently August 12th, so we have like a month and some change to go. And I mean, if you don't know my pick, you should know. I'm picking Errol Spence Jr. Some people say that they feel that Errol Spence fans are like looking beyond, or not having don't think Shawn Porter can bring it up to the table, and that's not what it is. It's just, I feel like Errol Spence Jr. is leaps and bounds above everyone in this welterweight division. The only person that comes remotely close is Terrence Crawford, and I feel like Errol Spence is multiple steps ahead of Terrence Crawford as well. And a fight with Shawn Porter is only going to elevate Errol Spence's game. I feel like Errol Spence is the type of fighter that does wonderful things at the 154-pound division, my favorite weight class. So if I feel, and a lot of other Errol Spence fans feel, that Errol Spence has the potential to be a dominant force at 154 and move up and make history at middleweight, why wouldn't I believe Errol Spence Jr. would dominate Shawn Porter? I mean, I don't look at it like he'll just dismantle him in the first round like Wilder did Brazil. But I feel like Errol Spence has the ability. Errol Spence has the strength. Errol Spence has the ring experience, the ring generalship, and the boxing talent to make relatively easy work of Shawn Porter. And if that doesn't happen, that's great. It's a more entertaining fight for the fans. But people taking issue with Errol Spence fans because they have such high expectations for Shawn Porter. Think about it. Shawn Porter, he's already lost in his big fights. And some people may consider Danny Garcia a big fight. Me personally, I don't think highly of Danny Garcia, but he already lost to Keith Thurman. He lost his belt to Kell Brook. And you're talking about the man that went across the pond to do what Shawn should have done. And the only thing you hear from that camp is a bunch of excuses regarding the IBF. So, and you know what? That's another thing that I wish would have came up. I'm gonna make another video about that. But this Nino Brown boxing, shout out to the LDBC, and I'm out.